Good morning, everybody. We're going live again with the Kurt Take Sports Talk with an Attitude. We're live at King's Donuts in Fairburn, Georgia. We'd like to thank everybody for logging in, tuning in. We got a little bit of late start. Man, we're at King's Donuts in Fairburn, Georgia. 8420 Sonora Road, Fairburn, Georgia. 30213. It's been voted one of the best donuts shops in the Fairburn, Georgia area. They don't only have donuts. They have great food items for lunch, breakfast. So come on down to King's Donuts, get your bite to eat, come in for the broadcast and stay for the meal. Man, we have so much to talk about today. So much going on in sports. Got my notes here. The United States men's basketball team is off to an overwhelming start. The Grecian-born superstar becomes just the second player in NBA history with back-to-back 40 points, 10 rebounds in the game finals. I know we had that argument before, but I looked up the stats last night, and I think I'm right.
So you didn't
NBA
come up
finals,
with two?
the Suns and Bucks tied for 2 after the Bucks get another win.
Yes.
And, I did come up with 2. I know you got an argument for me on that.
I do indeed.
And the men's basketball action tips off. The men's basketball for the Olympics kicks off July 25th.
Yes, it does.
And I want to talk about this, a 19-year-old man out of Tampa, Florida, who has qualified for the Olympics in the 200 meters. And last but not least, guess what? Aaron Rodgers, he's just not having it, folks. So good morning. We're going live. We're here at King's Donuts. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And look, I want to open up, talk a little bit about the men's Olympic basketball squad. The book is open.
Yes, it is. The book is wide open this morning, everybody. So jump in, reach out to us. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. It is a great day in Fairburn, Georgia. We're at King's Donut, as Curtis said, and we're ready to go. Remember, they were voted the best donuts in Georgia.
All right, man, that men's basketball team is off to an overwhelming start. The star-studded squad lost to Nigeria, 90-87. And remember, these are exhibition games. They lost to Nigeria, and they also lost to Australia, right?
Correct.
So there are 2-1. What's up with that?
No big deal. They're just getting ready.
They're just getting ready?
This doesn't count for anything. You have to have tune-up games to get yourself ready. Remember, these players, they've not played together. They're all from different teams. So even though they've been practicing together, they haven't played together. That's a huge difference when you're playing at the international level.
Oh, yeah? Well, for all the other teams that's played before this squad, they've been 54-2. They've flaunted that record in their opening schedule in an exhibition game. But now we got this team, they could barely win a game.
Barely win a game. They just blew somebody out just the other night, and they've only lost 2.
They've only played 3.
Right. But it doesn't count for anything.
But they played 3 and lost 2.
They're exhibition games.
The exhibition games do mean something because there's
what do they mean?
That they've started off all the other NBA Olympic teams. They got something to prove. They've been 54-2. They have a 54-2 record.
Right. And this team is 1-2. So they lost no more than the other team lost, right?
They lost no more than the other teams. There's only been 3 games. So they must not be starting off too good.
But again, they are exhibition games with guys that have never played together. And it really doesn't count for anything.
They play in the NBA.
But it don't count for
anything. They
anything.
never played together. They played against each other. It's
right,
NBA.
They played against each other. They haven't played with each other. They haven't practiced with each other. There's a whole lot that goes into preparing yourself for international basketball. Because international basketball is not the same as the NBA.
But they're playing basketball in a basketball.
But it still is not the same as the NBA. The refereeing is different.
Oh my God.
There's all of those things that go into whether or not you can win.
Come on now. Hey, straight out DC, what's your thoughts on that? I don't know.
I have an expectation.
Let's start with the obvious.
Let's start with the obvious. I have an expectation that a U.S. Olympic team is #1 across the globe. And so our expectation is for them not only just to recruit some of these international players and put them on our team, but also to set an example. Now you say they haven't played together.
They have to be American.
They've been playing all year long.
The international players play for their own country.
Yes, but they come to the United
So what are you
States
saying?
to learn.
He was saying recruit players internationally to play on the U.S. team. You can't do that. Those international players play for their own country. And the world is catching up to basketball. Remember, this is a global sport.
Well,
And it is you. So if you think about the top five young players in the NBA right now,
yeah,
how many of them are from America and how many of them are from outside America? Top five players in the young players in the NBA.
Well,
Giannis is number one, right? Luka Doncic is number two. Those are two of the top young players in the league, and they're not from America.
Which is why they come to America to show their star-studded status. We can't go down to Tokyo and lose in Tokyo. We can't let Argentina win. I mean, that's where I come from, where the Olympics matter. We're always supporting them. Are they even going to get a gold?
no, I don't think they're going to get a gold. I think they're going to, like your prediction earlier, I give them third place at best. Third place at best.
So are we marking this down that the U.S. will not win the gold? Is that what you're doing, Curtis?
I'm saying the U.S. basketball men's team is not going to get the gold in the Olympics this year.
Are you making notes of that?
And to my fact, something that we brought up, I'm going to read something on the Nigerian team that beat the U.S. Golden State Warriors assistant coach Mike Brown leads the Nigerian national basketball team, which will make the third straight appearance in the Olympics. All right, Nigeria qualified as the highest ranked African team in 2019, according to the FIBA basketball world. So, and the thing about it is, you can be playing on a U.S. team and play for whatever country you're from.
You can't play on the U.S. Olympic team.
You can play on the Nigerian. If you're from Nigeria, you're Nigerian. You can play on the Nigerian team.
Yeah, but you can't play on the U.S. team. That's what I'm saying. If you are from outside the country, you have to play for your country. You cannot play for the U.S. team.
So you're saying if you play in the NBA, you can't play for the American team?
No, I'm saying if you're from outside, if you're not an American, you can't play on the American team.
I'm asking, if you play in the NBA for Golden State and you're Nigerian, can you play for the U.S. Olympic
you cannot.
team?
Well, what he's really saying to me is that
Nigeria.
what he's
like
saying
Luka
to me,
Doncic cannot play for the U.S. Even Giannis can't play for the U.S.
Oh, you hear that? See that? So that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah,
that's information. You know what? Something. Hey, the book is always open.
Always open.
I say, we can hear about the book is open, but the book is always open. So that's education for you right there. So I thought just so long you play for the NBA, you can play for the.
No, you have to be an American because this is the U.S. team. If you're not a U.S. player, if you're not a U.S. citizen, a U.S. native, you can't play for U.S.
Oh wow.
So that's why you got people like Luka Doncic and all those other players. They play for their country. Dirk Nowitzki, when they won the championship, they went to the Olympics. He didn't play for America. He played for his team that is from his country that he played for. He's from.
that's true. So I think Nigeria's got a team that's put together that's going to win.
Yeah, just speak up, Lonnie. I can't hear you.
I said Nigeria has a team, and maybe they're going to pull it through.
There you go.
So why do you guys start to feel like this? And we're in the exhibitions. They haven't even gone to pool play. We don't even know if Nigeria will come out of pool play yet. We're saying Nigeria, and they haven't done anything. What have they done? What have they proven on the basketball world? They beat U.S. in an exhibition game.
But Nigeria has always been good.
No, they haven't always been good. They just got good. They have not always been good.
So what do you mean? Just this year they just got good?
No, what do you mean when you say always been good?
No, I'm saying so they've been good for several years.
Well, okay, several 10 or several 3.
If 3 is 3, that's good for 3. If
what
2 is 2, that's
they
good for 2.
Were they in the Olympics? Did they make the Olympics in the medal round 2 Olympics ago? No.
No, they didn't make it.
No, they didn't. That's what I'm telling you.
But what about Argentina? What about Argentina? You can't sleep on Argentina.
You have to been in the Olympics and made the medal round.
So in 2019, it says that they qualified as the highest ranked African team.
In 2019, but we're talking about before 2019. We said always
I
been
said
good.
2 years.
You said always been good.
2021, right? That gives them what, 3 years? 2
2
years?
years, 19, this is 21. That's the 2 years. We didn't even have the Olympics last year. Remember, that's when it was supposed to be played last year. And so they would have qualified for that Olympics. What about the 2 Olympics before that? Did they qualify?
That's different because they had LeBron James on the team. LeBron James carried him. Kevin Durant is going to have to carry the U.S. Olympic team.
There are things
You know
about
why?
this.
Because let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I want to go with the obvious before you talk about LeBron James. And
Well,
why
you
they
brought
don't-
up LeBron James. I
No,
did.
and I'm saying why you say they don't need them.
They don't need. Let me tell you
I'm
why.
gonna speak the obvious. They're not as good as any other Olympic team that's been out there ever. This is a lack.
It
I
may,
love Kevin
but
Durant.
you got to keep in mind, we're not comparing this to the other teams. We're comparing it to the teams that they're playing against in the international competition this year.
I'm comparing it to all the teams that's ever played in the Olympics.
But you ain't gonna ever have another. You'll never have a team like you had with Shaq and that group right there.
I'm not talking about Shaq.
Well, you said all the other Olympic teams.
I'm talking about all the teams.
Exactly.
Shaq didn't play every year, did he?
I'm talking about the super team that the first American super team that they put together.
Well,
Remember that team with Charles Barkley and Michael and Magic and all those guys? Nobody ever gonna be that good.
we're talking about the
Like
Dream
American
Team.
The Dream
The
Team.
Dream Team was
A
that back in
gold medal
92 or
is
something
a
like
gold medal. A gold medal is a gold medal. I guess you're
So
waiting.
why are we comparing this team to any other American team when they not even played in competition yet? They haven't done any of those things. Now, are they as good as the Dream Team? No, we don't expect that. The Dream Team, that whole Dream Team were all Hall of Famers.
I'll make a prediction that we're waiting for Middleton to come down there to help the U.S. squad grow. How's that for a prediction? Soon Middleton gets there. We'll talk about him later, I'm sure. Maybe that will make it a dream team.
It ain't gonna ever be another Dream Team.
Middleton's a dream come true.
Donnie,
So we're just waiting for him. Kevin Durant is the key to making it a dream team.
Straight up, don't be obstinate, bro. Whatever you're saying. You telling me, oh, Dream Team, Dream Team. Come on, when we say Dream Team, if you're gonna bring some of that stuff into it, then we have to move on to the next subject because you know what we mean when we say Dream Team. You know exactly what we're talking about. So you don't know who the Dream Team.
Who's on the Dream Team of 1992?
You don't know who's on the Dream Team, Lonnie?
Oh, I definitely know.
But then why are you talking about dream come true and all that? Because when we say Dream Team, everybody knows who that is in America. That was the team with Michael and Magic and Bird and Scottie Pippen and all of those guys.
Right,
Well,
so this
Middleton,
Only one player on that team didn't make the Hall of Fame,
who was that?
and that was Christian Laettner
Cricket Laettner.
from
He's the only
Duke.
one.
Right, but he was the only college player on that team
Right,
too.
he was only
Yes,
college
he
player.
was,
He was when they was not with the Hall of Fame, right?
Right, everybody else on that Dream Team went to the Hall of Fame.
So I'm so glad they have KD, because without KD,
They got
Right.
Dame Lillard on that team,
okay, they got Dame Lillard on this
right?
team.
They're gonna have Booker gonna be on that team.
He is.
Yeah, he's part of that team, but he's playing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's still playing. If you had the full team intact, when he's still playing in the playoffs, you don't have the same team. Let them get the team together and then play in competition. Right now, we're judging them on some preliminary games.
What?
exhibitions.
Exhibition games. I know the season
Exhibition, preliminary, whatever you want to
kick
call
it
it.
off July 25th.
It's not the Olympic competition yet.
Yeah, but here's my thing about Booker. He's playing right now,
Yes.
right?
Right?
So whether he wins or loses this NBA final series, is he going to be too happy to try to come on the Olympic team? And if they blow it and lose, which I think the Bucks are going to pull it out in 7.
Oh, you're changing your prediction.
Well, I said that I want Chris Paul to get one, but I think last time I said I think Milwaukee's going to take it because it's been, 47 years since they had, 47, 49 years since they've been to there, and all of Milwaukee is standing behind him. Well, so what I'm saying is, if Devin Booker, whether he wins or loses, is he going to be too happy to try to come play on the Olympic team, or is he going to be too sad with hurt feelings to actually come out on the Olympic team? So
okay, again, as a professional athlete, as an athlete in general, when you go out and you step on the floor to compete, you compete. You don't think about whether or not I didn't win the NBA or I did win the NBA. None of that stuff has anything to do with the guy that's guarding you. When you walk out on that floor and you play in an international competition for your country, what just happened in the playoffs won't have any bearing on that.
Is anybody here, anybody listening, think differently than that? Is anybody listening think that if somebody wins or loses, not conspiracy theory, I'm just asking if anybody on here thinks that if somebody wins or loses in his NBA finals, will they come and actually play on an Olympic team?
No, we're just asking the general public, or we asking people that have actually competed? Because if you haven't ever competed, you're gonna have a different understanding and a different opinion than if you've actually competed for something.
Oh, wow.
It's not the same.
Competing in the last century?
I said competing for something.
Oh.
I would like to add that Devin Booker is going to come down. They're going to save a spot for him on the bench, and he'll be sitting on the bench, attitude and all, watching the game. Because that's just how it goes. They come with an attitude, put him on the bench. You know, that's how I feel. If anybody want to raise their hand, he can't come. He thinks he's gonna come out like he's the world champ and shoot over Kevin Durant. That's not happening. Go ahead, put him down on the bench.
I'm on mute.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Oh no, I can hear coming out your thing. Is it turned up to 100?
I don't know how. I mean, I can't get. I don't have an icon. You know how
minimize that.
Curtis, I think the game comes down to another 40-point scorer being there.
Let's click right here. Let's click. I'm sorry, say it again.
I think it just comes down to another 40-point person isn't going to win. I think the Olympics, I got to give it to the U.S. team. Hopefully they play some defense. Maybe that's our issue. I know Ralph's a defensive lover. So are they not playing defense? Is Kevin Durant not a dream team player? How are we going to pull this off? I think we got it, but other teams are competitive.
I don't understand what all those things are coming into play, because the bottom line is Kevin Durant and the rest of the team, they just got together. Fellas, at least give them an opportunity to go and compete for something that's real. They're just trying to learn. The international game and the international rules are different than the NBA rules. It takes some time to get used to that. When the ball hits the rim in the international, you can take it off the rim. There ain't no such thing as goaltender. Well, if you've been playing in a league that you can't touch the ball, you got to get used to, now I can touch that ball anytime it goes up. Before, when you can't do it, you're much more reserved when you go for rebounds, when you're trying to block shots. All those things make a difference. It takes some time for them to get used to the new rules that they haven't played with their whole life. If you've never been in the Olympics or never played international competition, the rules are not the same as the NBA. They don't call it the same.
Well, Ralph, all I want to say is the rim the same size, or did they shrink the rim against they can't get the ball in the rim?
But the lane is not the same size.
The rim, boom.
Bro, I told you the rim is the same. You know that. You don't have to even ask that question.
I just want to say the ball got to go through the hole.
and basketball's basketball. They've been playing basketball all year, and now they can't win a game. That's how I say they won one game.
Okay.
I guess they're getting warmed up. And then he had a couple people who done dropped off. They missed it.
They stepped out.
You got one guy with a calf issue, right?
That's Kevin Love.
Protocol, health.
Protocol. They added a couple guys. They added JaVale McGee to the team.
There you go.
But again,
maybe
like
JaVale McGee.
Remember back when Phoenix won the first two games of the series, And I said, let's give Milwaukee a chance to go home and play in their gym and sleep in their beds and see what'll happen. And exactly what I said would happen is they won both those games at home.
So the Olympic team is waiting to win. And I'm behind them. I'll give them support. I think JaVale McGee adds a new element to it. I think it makes it an international game. Bradley Beal coming off. I mean, y'all just lost, someone who's very good. And so they didn't really replace him with anyone good.
Because Bradley Beal coming off, what does that mean? You're still going to have Devin Booker coming on.
Yes.
So did you lose much?
Well.
That's a yes or no question, brother.
No, we got athletes out there.
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep it real, as opposed to Bradley Beal came out. Okay, Devin Booker comes on. He's just as good or better.
I got to represent DC. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. They was playing ball together in the park.
If it wasn't for KD, this game be over. All right, so let's look at this. Like the book had mentioned, we're in the exhibition section right now. They had the game on the 10th to 12th. They canceled the one on the 13th, and then they were supposed to play last night, right? Or no, they played the one on the 13th against Argentina. They won 108-80.
108. Say that score again.
They lost.
Say that score again.
108-80.
That's 28-point loss.
All right, and then what do we do to break? They canceled the last one, and then they have one on the 18th against Spain. That's the exhibition schedule. Their schedule is going to be July 25th, 28th, 30th, August 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
That's the Olympic schedule?
That's their actual Olympic schedule.
And that's Group A, right? That's Group A.
Yes. That's their Olympics. That's their schedule against France, Iran. Who's that?
Czech Republic.
Then they got men's quarterfinals, men's semifinals.
Yeah, that's pool play. Remember, you got to get out of pool play before you get to the medal round.
Oh,
so
right.
Where the Olympics is set up, you got various divisions, and you have each pool. So you got to get out of pool play, and then you get into the medal round. And that's when you win the gold. So you can't even win the gold in the first 2 games, the first 3 games. You got to win those games to get out of that pool to get to the medal round.
That's true.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do. All right, cool. All right. We're about to pause for a station identification, take a break. This next section is brought to you by Pertech Inc., a technology company specializing in computer service repair, cell phone screen repair. We're gonna do yours when you come back in, so you'll be present for that. Yep. So next we got coming up. He's a podcaster. He has a station, 85 South Sports. He also does Noonan Network podcast. I'm a Noonan High School podcast. Mr. Derek Teagle, who's about to come on the scene. Welcome, Mr. Derek. How's it going, man?
It's going well. It's going very well.
Great, great. This is Derek Teagle, man. We do some networking together and hooked up. He has a podcast, 85 South Sports, and also something he does for Noonan Networkers. Derek, tell us about what you do for your podcast and about you also have a nonprofit, right?
Correct.
Yep.
I have a nonprofit that's been involved for 14 years in August. Our nonprofit basically support kids. We mentor kids as our foundation. We educate kids. We do 4 seminars a year, every year, with the kids and the parents to educate them on things that they will not learn in school, will not learn in the church. And we understand that those 2 are used by most kids and parents with their knowledge. So we do that. We are an organization that we talk every day through GroupMe. We have a guest speaker to come talk to our kids every 2 weeks on Thursday, just to educate them, but also them a different path for life. Also, we're an organization that tied with a lot of student athletes. We have helped over 300 student athletes get athletic scholarships over the last 13 and a half years. And last year we had 51 kids got athletic scholarships to go to the next level.
Oh, really? Okay. When you say next level, what's the next level?
College,
wow.
college, university, yes.
Wow.
This past week, we had 2 student athletes committed. One committed Thursday, he committed to Georgia State, and one committed Wednesday, he committed to Georgia Southern.
Are you allowed to mention their names, or is it?
Oh, yes. Sean Wembley, he committed to Georgia Southern, and Makai Hill committed to Georgia State on Thursday.
Oh, wow. What positions?
Defensive end and offensive tackle.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're rolling for sure.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Man. That's beautiful. Tell us about 85 South.
85 South is basically a way that we can cover sports down 85 South. We are 85 South. It goes from, in our coverage area, from LaGrange, Georgia, all the way up to up here. So basically, we cover sports, local teams. We do reports. We follow Monday Meals. We follow Riverdale. We follow Drew High School. Also, we follow Luna High School, East Caida, Trinity, LaGrange, anything down 85 South. So basically, it's a way that we can cover students down that region.
Wow. So how can y'all broadcast? When do y'all broadcast? How can people follow 85 South?
Our 85 South, you can find easily on 85southsports.org. And we start our broadcast. Our first one will be August the 6th, where we can do a live broadcast of Luna High School versus Lithia Spring football game.
Nice.
So August 6th is our first official broadcast for this year.
That's the first official broadcast.
For this year, yes.
And how long have we been doing the 85 South?
85 South, we started back in September.
Okay.
We was doing a program called Monday Night Motivation and Friday Night Lights Football, which we did for 3 years. So we kind of collaborated to make 85 South in September.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. We're going to put his information when we go live, when we put information on the YouTube in the comments. That's what I'm trying to say in the comments. I'm all stuttered up right here. But we're going to put how you can follow 85 South, how you can follow
Empower for Life. Empower for Life?
Empower for Life, and how you can follow the
Noonan Weekly.
Noonan Weekly.
Yes.
Noonan Weekly. We want to put that information in so you can follow Derek and his crew on everything they got going on, because it sounds like they got some great stuff going on. Okay, so for your nonprofit, I heard you guys have a golf tournament coming up.
Yes.
You guys still taking applications for that?
Yes.
Can you talk about the cost and what it would take for somebody locally to get involved with that?
So basically, our golf fundraiser started 4 years ago. Is a way that we can give to our organization, Empower for Life, but as well as Children Haircut Atlanta. And the reason why Children Haircut Atlanta was selected was that my son was diagnosed with cancer at age 12. So we went through that whole cancer battle. He's 7 years now in the good, so 7 years of living a life of being cancer free. Thank you, Jesus. You're welcome on that. So when you found like, man, how can we give back to Children Haircut Atlanta in a major way? So we use this fundraiser as a way to split proceeds as we give to Children Haircut Atlanta. The last 2 years, we've given back to Noonan High School basketball program in honor of him as well. He was a basketball player at Noonan. So it's a way that we can raise a whole lot of funds to give back to our organization, Empower for Life, Children Haircut Atlanta, as well as Noonan High School basketball program. To be involved, you can be a volunteer, which we're always looking for volunteers, as well as you can be a golfer. Individual golfers is $100. If you got a 4-man team, it's $350. That includes golf carts, registration, raffle tickets, as well as a lunch provided by Steakhouse, Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse provide lunch for us live on the golf course. So they grill during the golf course. So you can get a hot meal for Outback Steakhouse as well. Also, the golf tournament features a $1 million shot. So the winning team will get a chance at the end of the golf tournament to go win $1 million. Also, the golf tournament features a 2021 Toyota Camry. So twice you can win a Toyota Camry. Also, you can win $1 million at the golf tournament.
Wow. I think I'm up for $1 million.
Yes, me too.
I think I don't mind paying $100 to take my chance on winning $1 million.
Right.
So we're going to put that information in here, give everybody time to sign up to look into this golf tournament.
Right. And the tournament is September 11th. It's a Saturday.
September 11th.
It's at Auburn Springs Golf Course, which is a Caida Club, a little bit above Noonan. Like I said, it's a way that once again you usually hang out, meet some of the students from the organization because they be volunteering that day. So you see where your seeds be going to. And speaking of seeds, we have a sponsor seed which start out with $1. So if you have $1, anyway up to $100, you can donate to the organization. Then you're gonna be a golf sponsor. Our home sponsor start at 100. Our biggest sponsor, our golf cart sponsor, is 2,000. That basically means that your logo will be on every golf cart and also other things as well.
Wow. You'll take as little as $1.
$1, yes.
I think everybody almost has $1 that they can donate for this. It's a great cause. We're going to help out the children.
Correct.
In a major way. So let's get these donations in. We're going to put the information in. We want everybody to contact us, reach out to us. We're going to get the money to him. We're going to figure this out. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, me too. Me too. Less than 2 months away, so it's right around the corner.
Less than 2 months. Man, I see a whole lot of people in here looking up at the screen, and I think we can get $1 out of them. But we may also be able to get a team out of them.
That'd be great. I
see some fellas over there that we get a team out of. Man, I want to thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, man, for sure.
Let's do some collaboration.
I'm down. Especially a guy, he's got a Laker hat on. I'm a crazy Laker fan.
Oh my goodness, man. You're a Laker fan. He's a Laker fan. I used to be a Laker fan.
What happened to you?
They got what's his name? What's that guy's name they got on the play now?
LeBron.
Oh yeah, that's him. They got him on the team. So I never been a LeBron fan.
Well, I haven't either. Actually,
I've always been a Laker fan.
On my former talk show, I used to have that you couldn't talk about LeBron on my show. I was not a LeBron fan. Right. But I'm a crazy Lakers fan. So when he became a Lakers, he became family.
Oh, okay.
So
that's how
okay. He's a long distance cousin.
Oh my word, that's how it works about because he joined the team. You guys are long distance cousins.
Yes.
Hey man.
We accept him.
Hey, I'm not hating on LeBron. He's a great player.
There's great things in the community.
There's things I say about him to get folks stirred up. I know he's a great player.
Right.
He's no Jordan. He was no Kobe, but he is a great player.
I can agree with both of that.
So we can do a show together.
Right. I can agree with that, yeah.
I'll try to see how he's going to respond to that one. So we can do a show together, man.
I'm all about Kobe.
You're all about Kobe.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm all about Kobe on this one. Man, thank you so much again. Was there anything you want to leave us with?
Just more than anything, just if you can't donate or be a part of the golf tournament, just pray. Pray for us. Pray that we continue to lead our kids in our community, but I also pray that we receive funds to help our kids with cancer, the cancer battle. Because we was there, as a family, we went through it. We felt it. We had all those trips back to Trinity Hook of Atlanta. When our son was getting sick. So I understand that battle that parents go with cancer, deal with kids with cancer. So more than anything, just pray. If you can't support, can't donate, you can't volunteer, just pray for us. Because it's truly a battle, man. It's truly a battle.
Wow, prayer is powerful.
Right.
Great. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. That's important for you. Thank you for coming in, man. Man, I want to have a conversation with you later anyway about some other stuff we got going on.
You got my number, so call me. I'm free today. Today's a free day.
Today's a free day? All
yes,
right.
Yes.
So I'm glad you came for the broadcast. Grab you something to eat, stay for the food. They got some great food at King's Donuts. They not only have donuts and coffee, they have breakfast burritos, they got fish and grits, they got, those are two things that I've had. They got chicken and waffles. We had that yesterday, chickens and waffles, fish and grits. They got catfish, they have tilapia.
They got a real restaurant.
Yeah, they have a real restaurant here at King's Donuts in Fairburn. I don't know if you can see his address, but the King's address in Fairburn. Come for the broadcast, stay for the meal, fish and grits, breakfast burritos, with everything in it. I know I had one to do with. Okay, let's go on. But anyway, thank you very much. I can't say enough about King's Donuts. I want to thank them for letting us come in today and do our broadcast live from this location. Thank you very much, man. We're going to see you.
Still calling me.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
See Miss Cece on the way out here.
Okay.
She's going to take care of you.
Okay.
Coming up. Straight out of DC's back. This section of the broadcast is brought to you by Taz Agency, life insurance for all family needs, term insurance for young couples and families just getting started. Universal life with coverage until age 100 and many other benefits. For more information, you see this man sitting beside me, the book, he's open. That's the man to contact. For more information, contact professionally Ralph Booker at 770-634-0631. Or you can email him on rbooker, RBOOKER at Higher Heights Financial. That's for Taz Agency Insurance. Man, thank you so much, man, for letting our brother come in.
Absolutely. We
The
love
book is
that.
open.
The book is
We're
back
gonna
up.
always agree,
That's okay.
but that's why I got you on the show.
That's the reason.
Because you keep my blood boiling,
I appreciate
and I
that.
don't want you to agree with me all the time. But I do want you to agree with me most of the time. Come on,
Well,
man.
what I'm gonna do is just put the facts out there, and then you can kind of go for it the way you think it ought to be.
Huh?
But the reality is that everybody has their opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion.
Thank you very much for saying that. Because I want my opinion, and you don't have to respect it. I just want you to hear it.
I don't mind hearing it. I don't know that it's, it's like my opinion.
But yeah, everybody has one, right?
Like it's kind of like a nose, baby. Everybody got one.
Oh my world, oh my world. All right, so I wanna on this section here, I wanna highlight some women in sports. I wanna highlight some women in sports. Allison Phoenix.
Track star.
Yeah, track star. Straight out DC. I'm in the block here. She's a track and field. Her event is a 400 meter and a 400 meter relay. She's 5'6", 125 pounds. Born in 85, right? Out of Los Angeles, California. It must be the air out there. It must be the sun. Must be the weather, right?
Could be.
Man, she is, what is that, a 9-time Olympian with 6 golds and 3 silvers? Talk to me about that. But straight out of DC, tell me, what do you think about this Olympian?
Well, I certainly think that she's been there before. Obviously, she swept the field. The only thing I got a little bit of a challenge with is, are the younger athletes more prepared than she is in order to run in this Olympics? I think she definitely is going to come competing and bring her A game. But, it might be time for someone with a little bit more youth to come in on her in the track and field. There are other great athletes out there in the track and field arena. But I also want to mention that there's a lot of other females in there that I think are doing very well. I'm definitely behind Simone in the gymnastics field. I'm sorry, in the floor gymnastics. I'm definitely behind Simone Manuel in the swimming pool. She's certainly bringing a blessing to us all. And there's also our young tennis star, Naomi Oates, who's out there. And she's that youthful energy that's coming from, our communities, and she's doing very well. And we're just going to be behind her 100%. Now, the most important one, and I don't know where Straight Out of DC, Armchair went, but I'm also following Randall Cunningham's daughter in the high jump. She's bringing something like a celebrity dad to the Olympics, and she's doing very well with the Olympics. So I think her name is Vasati Cunningham. If you haven't seen her yet, she's 6'1". She's definitely in line and in tune to come home with the gold medal. I think her father said that he put together a great training experience for her. And basically she's clearing 6'2" easily with no problem. And so that's Randall Cunningham's daughter. There's probably a number of other, HBCU female athletes out there. We're just looking forward to the females coming through. But they always have to go up against some sprinters from Jamaica. But have you been following any other female athletes?
You hear what you said?
I can't hear.
So where's your, I'm sorry, I had to step out for a second. So you're talking about all the athletes? I missed that segment there. So,
Well, I guess the most important part that I was talking about was Vashanti Cunningham being under a training program, someone we could get behind with Randall Cunningham's daughter being in the high jump.
well, what happened? We're working through our sound here, and I wanted to bring up Shakari Richardson. And you say Shakari, she was suspended. Shakari Richardson, I think there should be a recount.
For what?
I think they need to look at. I think they need to look at lifting the suspension.
Tell me why. She's already off the Olympic team. So why should they lift the suspension?
You know, I know we talked about this before. I only want to touch on it for a second. She did get picked up by a cannabis company to represent them. I don't know if it was a joke. I don't know if it was a joke or if it was serious, but she got picked up by a company that they want her to represent them.
The only way that they could,
$20,000.
right, that's the only way that they could actually pick her up is that she agreed to it, right? So she agreed to the $200,000.
I don't know if she agreed or not, but
if they picked her up, she had to agree. They won't pick her up if she don't agree.
Well, that's what the Olympics
Olympics
is all about, getting a sponsor.
Agree to it.
well.
But again, you know, the rules are the rules. If the rules, if they change the rules in the midstream, it'd be one thing. But if you know the rules at the beginning of the game, you have to play by those rules. Now, if the rules need to be changed, you can always work to change the rules. That's not the issue. The issue is the rule already in place?
Well, we can't talk about an
The rule
athlete.
is already in place, but
What's the but?
Trey, DC, what are you gonna say?
We can't talk about athletes that broke the rules. We got some young athletes in the Olympics right now that are doing great things, and we just got to stand behind what we can. If you get a sponsorship, you know, that's what we wanted, right? Fine. Bad publicity, no publicity, all publicity is good publicity.
Look at my volume.
So you think that she should been on the Olympic team?
No, I think she needed an advertising sponsor, and she got it.
What?
So that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. They want sponsorships, and she got one, huh?
Yes.
No matter how it comes.
But it's after the fact, though.
After
So
the fact.
let me ask you a question. Do you think she would have taken that sponsorship to represent a cannabis company had she made the Olympic team? The only reason that this even came up is because of her being disqualified because of smoking marijuana.
Well.
Yeah, we could do that, but it's kind of a sad event too behind it. So we got to be careful.
She broke the rules. Right?
Oh yeah.
So now you know the rules. You have to play by, but she knew the rule beforehand.
Yeah,
Everybody heard it there. Tell me what you think. Should Shakari Richardson, I know we talked about this before, but should Shakari Richardson get another chance? I'm voting for her, getting her back on the team.
Can't get her back on the team. It's done.
They can change the rules. Are made to be ended.
So this is the question I have for you. If you want her back on the team, who you gonna take off the team?
The slowest one on the team.
Yeah, but when we're talking about slow, we're talking about tenths of we're only talking about tenths. We ain't talking about a distance of slow. You are a track player, you're a track runner.
Yes,
you know yourself that the slowest person may only still be 2 tenths behind you.
Well, the thing about that is, who made the team because she was suspended, that person drops off.
No. That ain't the way it worked. She only got suspended because she broke the rule. So had she false started twice, she wouldn't have made the Olympic team.
That's different.
What's the difference?
What's
the difference?
She only smoked marijuana.
I understand it's against the rule. What's the difference?
She wouldn't have jumped the gun like that.
Well, you don't know that. All I said is that had she had 2 false starts, she wouldn't have made the Olympic team.
You know what I believe?
She only needed one false start. Matter of fact, if somebody else false starts the first time and then on the second one, she false start, she's out. She don't even have to be the one to false start twice if she's the second one to false start. Isn't that right? Straight out of DC?
You know, I would add that I'll leave that up to you guys to discuss. I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave that up to you. But my thing is,
it's hard to have a conversation when people don't want to go back.
She has a bad hairdo and the fingernails. I'll leave it up to the other people to judge. I'm just judging on her, you know, what happened, you know, and the fingernails and the hair. I mean, we got to throw the big picture in there.
You not know the rules for track?
No.
Okay. I won't ask you no more track questions.
He knows the rules.
No, he said he don't. I asked him directly. He said he don't know the track rules, so I won't talk to him about track anymore.
He ran track.
I ran the 2 mile.
He was on 2 mile relay.
But he don't know the rules.
They had plenty of time to think about it while they were running.
I know that's right.
He had a whole lot of time.
A whole lot of time to think about it. He running 2 miles. I just wanted to know if he know the rules. But since he don't know the rules, we won't ask him about track. You know, how about Tour de France rules? Do you know Tour de France
Tour de
rules?
France. Let's talk about a little bit of Tour de France.
Wait. Let's not talk about Tour de France yet. I understand that this athlete is good, but I think there's some other young athletes on the men's track and field team. Now, I could be wrong, but Armchair, is there other athletes that are this guy out of Tampa, Florida, right? Is he like someone we should really be putting our energy behind and watching? I understand that, you know, is he in 11th grade or 12th grade?
Yeah, he's a 19-year-old high schooler, Arian Knighton. He's a 19-year-old out of Tampa, Florida. He broke Usain's Bolt 200-meter record. He qualified, came in 3rd in the qualifiers for the 200 meters. 19-year-old high schooler. He's going to be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He's going to be representing the USA.
He made the Olympic team?
Yep. Arian Knighton out of Tampa, Florida. That's incredible. That's a good remind me of myself when I was a young strapper.
Right. Because I knew you run the 200, and I knew you understand the nuances behind the 200.
Well, yes, sir.
And so if somebody asks you about something that doesn't make sense to the 200 nuance, you're going to correct them.
A little bit. You know, I think things have changed. You know, he's about like...
You still got to run.
He's about 12 seconds faster than me, but...
But at the end of the day,
he's running
slower than the other.
He ran a 19.88 to break the record. A 19.88 and 200 meters. That's moving.
But he's being beaten by another 5-year runner, right? He's slower than the other guy, though.
Well, actually, there was another guy 5 years ago. He was in high school 5 years ago, and actually, he's the guy who, in the qualifiers, he took first place.
Oh,
so he's
okay.
5 years. He's 24 years old, and he took first place to qualify to represent the United States in the Olympics in the 200 meters.
So that goes from high school. What about college? Is Georgia Tech got a team this year, or we just sit back on the armchair?
You talking about Georgia Tech basketball?
Every college has a
Georgia Tech basketball. Man, when's that season start up? I think they started playing July some time frame, right?
They play Georgia.
August. It's like August time frame when they start up. Oh, they start around August time frame, but the guys that they have on the team, neuroscientists, aerodynamic engineers.
Oh, smart.
I mean, they're going to school for these things I can't pronounce. Aeronautics.
Yeah, it's an engineering school.
Space science. They're still playing basketball. So
some of them.
Well, these are the student athletes that we're talking about.
Right, but all of them ain't going to school for neuroscience. All of them, there's some of them that's also doing some other things too.
Well, what's the least you can do at Georgia Tech?
You can get a find arts degree, you can get all kinds of other degrees besides engineering. That's not the only degree that they offer at Georgia Tech.
But these are smart guys on this team.
Yes, they are, no question. But
Hey, listen. We've got some guys up here too, by the way. We just want to make sure that Straight Out of DC stays behind our Georgetown Hoyas, who made a good run for it last year. And we got a legitimate coach up here in Patrick Ewing. So keep our Georgetown Hoyas in the conversation as you talk about your college athletes, because we're going to do it again up here. What are they
going to look like for next year?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, but they got a legitimate coach.
No, I understand. I was just asking, have you heard anything? I was asking, have you heard anything about recruiting and that kind of thing?
No, not yet. Not yet. But when we do come around, y'all get behind us up here in DC. That's a legitimate team now.
Yeah, so we'll look out for them Hoyas. They're in the same conference. They're going to be playing the fellas from Tech.
Yeah. He went straight to college basketball.
Oh, yeah, man. We want to talk about young athletes,
So what do you guys think about the young athletes getting paid for their likeness and image now?
Oh.
Something? I think they deserve something. I know we talked about it before, but I think they deserve something. They already get their education paid for.
No, they earn their education.
They earn their education.
They earn their education. Nobody's giving them nothing free. If you're on the basketball team, the football team, the track team for 4 years, you earn your education.
Okay. So why get paid?
Why not? Because every other student can get paid for whatever they want to do. Why can't they be able to get paid?
Are they getting paid twice,
if
though?
You're a student and you're majoring in English at Georgia Tech, you can go to work for anybody you want to during the summer and make as much money as you want to. If you're an athlete, you can't. Tell me why. Tell me why an athlete would be restricted.
That's a good point.
Just like everybody else walking around campus. His students just like everybody else. Tell me why he shouldn't be able to go and make as much as he can make.
I don't know.
I'll add that I think there'll be a higher dropout rate. I just want to say that you got someone on campus that's making, $200,000. It might.
So I got a question for you. The reason that they go to college is to prepare them for their future, right?
Yes.
So if somebody drops out, let me finish. If somebody drops out of college to go make a bunch of money, isn't that their future? And Bill Gates dropped out, Zuckerberg dropped out. So dropping out is not the issue. It's whether or not they can go and earn for their future.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
So
dropping out is not an issue.
So their future as an athlete?
No, not as an athlete, as a person to earn a living for themselves in the future. It's not about being an athlete. It's about at the peak of me being able to earn as much as I can. Why shouldn't I be able to do that?
Yeah.
Just because I'm an athlete on a college campus, when every other student on campus can do it, but I can't do it because I'm an athlete.
So they've been doing this in baseball?
Everybody gets to do it now.
Okay. I thought it was something that we were saying that they're doing it because everybody else is doing it already.
Yes.
So they were already paying baseball players.
No, I'm talking about athletes. So baseball is an athlete. I'm saying all the other students on campus that are not athletes, NCAA athletes, they can go and work anywhere they want to and make as much as they want to work.
Well, I think the difference in paying a college player versus somebody being a professional. Once you become a professional, that's what you do. That's your livelihood, your profession.
Okay.
You're in college, and the added benefit is that you get to play ball.
It's a benefit to who? It's a benefit to the university.
It's a benefit to the player that they get to play ball for that school. Right?
And earn tons of money for that school.
But it's not a profession. It's not their profession.
It doesn't have
to
be
Ralph.
a profession. Name and
Ralph.
we're talking about name and image.
Well,
we're not talking about sending them a check.
Hey,
my name, likeness, and image.
They get a check for that.
Yes. So, just for instance, if an athlete at a university a car dealership says, if you come here, because everybody know you are a big recruit, you come here and sign autographs on Saturday, we'll pay you. What's wrong with that?
What's
Hey,
wrong with
Buck,
that?
I think that the athlete should go
Because if you're
straight
an English
to a profession.
you're not playing a sport, you can go and do it. So why wouldn't a kid that's playing sports be able to do the same thing?
Because that's different.
What's the difference?
Because nobody's paying you extra money
Yes,
to go
they
to school
will.
for English.
They are. That's what I'm saying. You can go and earn as much money as you want to. If you're an English major, you can do anything you want to do to earn money.
But the difference in that is when you're talking about profit sharing,
We ain't talking about profit sharing.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's
No.
profit sharing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Student athletes getting paid to
You
play
said-
in college.
No,
But
I'm not.
actually getting.
That's
no?
not what I'm saying, though,
Well, they're getting
Curtis.
paid for their likeness, right?
Right, but that's not getting paid to play. That's getting paid to come and sign autographs.
That's
That's called a
paying autograph.
booster.
It's not paying you to play. It's paying you to sign autographs. It's paying you to drive a car.
We call those people
who else?
boosters.
Come on.
The dealership.
Who else? The
That's
school?
it. That's it.
That's profit sharing. If anybody else is sharing in
I
that
said the
profit,
dealership.
and that's what I said, that's profit sharing.
So every check you get is profit sharing?
That's different. That's totally different than because I'm not playing for college.
Whether you playing, what I'm telling you is that whether you play or not, there are
It's
other
different.
kids that get to do the same thing that's not playing. Are they profit sharing?
No, but the difference is
What's the difference?
that because they're going to that school, because of they're doing athletics for that school, they get more recognition.
But
The
the
school
reason,
gets paid off of that because because the students
okay,
they go
but
to
the
that
school ain't paying for none of this. The school ain't giving the athlete a dime. This is somebody that's not at the school, that's a booster for the school, that owns a car dealership.
Booster
Yes, that owns a car dealership.
profit sharing.
Say what you want to
But
say.
that's not profit sharing.
How is that profit sharing? You haven't explained that though. If you let me get through my statement of if a student that's majoring in English
Right.
goes to a car dealership and his uncle owns a dealership and he says, hey, you just drive this car around campus so everybody can see you in this nice new Buick, then I'm gonna pay you for that.
And we're gonna tell everybody that you take English over at the school.
I ain't got to tell you nothing. You ain't got to
You
mention
take
English.
English over at the
You
school.
ain't got to mention
We're
English.
gonna give you a car because you take English. All
You
right.
don't have to mention English at all. Just the fact that you do it. Before you
Okay.
couldn't do it.
So Ralph Booker playing for this school. Everybody knows Ralph.
Not everybody, but a lot of people
Okay,
do.
now, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Everybody knows Ralph.
Right?
He goes down there and get a Buick. He driving that Buick. Everybody gonna know Ralph and like associate Ralph with that brand new Buick.
Right.
That's different than somebody who just takes English, who's going to school
What's the
that
difference?
nobody knows and
What's the
drives a
difference?
Buick.
What's the difference?
Well, I think the difference
Yes,
is
because the kids
make
still
the
see you
student
driving a brand new Buick on campus. There's still kids that still see you drive a brand new Buick on campus, whether they know who you are or not. They still see a brand new Buick riding around campus.
Them English majors aren't getting any TV time either.
but
They're
Ralph,
not sitting there. Hey, who's taking? Hey,
Ralph?
CIDC.
yes.
Who's taking English right now at the University of Maryland?
Nobody I know, but what's going to happen is the large
Everybody on
universities
campus takes English.
and the bigger
Everybody
markets
on
are
campus
going to
takes
purchase
English
the
at
bigger
University of
athletes.
Everybody.
The larger markets are going to purchase and pay the bigger
There's
athletes.
somewhere in there you gotta take an
Imbalance.
English class.
That's not right. But
But
they
what's the
don't.
point? I'm
They don't
trying to
have,
get you to tell me the
they
point.
don't have any recognition. They're
What
not.
difference does
They're
that
not a
make?
face.
But recognition doesn't matter. The reason that I have recognition is because of the athletic ability that I have.
And you get TV time.
And the money.
But the only reason I get teaching time is because of the athletic ability that I have.
And you get TV time. And now you're sharing profits.
What profits am I sharing? What company am I sharing profits with?
The car company. If that's who you
University.
That's just a paycheck. I'm just getting a paycheck. Where's the profit at? Profit sharing is at the end of the
So
day.
you work for the car companies? They work for those companies?
Yes.
They be working for the company.
No, they are working for the company. If I bring you in to sign autographs, you now are working for me.
And the university has
You're
an
now getting a check to sign
Grow.
autographs. Where is that a profit sharing? If she
Well,
writes
the
a check to these
university's
people that-
growing as well at the same time because the university is bringing in more money and more revenue too.
Good. Yeah.
I don't see.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that's profit sharing.
Well, explain, but you haven't explained.
I did. I'm just saying. So you're a student athlete. people recognize you around on campus, right?
Right. Why do
see
they
you
recognize you?
because you're an athlete. You're a good athlete.
I'm a good
So they're
athlete.
not going to. Okay, let's do this. How many people are on the team in college?
What kind of team? Football?
Basketball. Football. Basketball.
Let's say football. Let's say football. Let's say
Football.
football. There are 75 players or 80 players on scholarship at the university. And number
Okay.
85,
That's
don't
right.
nobody know who he is.
And then, so they're going to give him a viewer.
They might.
Come on, now why? Nobody knows him.
It don't matter. The fact
He's
is,
like an English major.
Kurt, what I'm trying to explain to you though, Kurt, what I'm trying to explain to you is that if you have an uncle that owns a dealership and you're at the university and you're not an athlete, and that uncle wants to hire you for the summer and pay you to do nothing, just sit in the office, he can do that. They can't do that for athletes though. They can't do that for an athlete, but any other student can do that. So why shouldn't the athlete have the same take advantage of the same thing?
Because, you know, I think it's profit sharing, and I'm going with profit sharing.
Okay. You have to explain to me what it is and define profit sharing.
But
because again, but you didn't explain profit sharing because I'm telling you, I'm giving you a check. You're not sharing profit. I'm paying you to come in and sign autographs. How is that profit sharing? I'm giving you a check to sign autographs. How is that profit sharing?
Because now what that person is doing, they come in,
sign an autograph and get a check,
and bring people in.
I don't know about bringing. He didn't say. Well, I didn't say they're gonna bring people in.
So why are they bringing people in? How they coming to sign autographs?
Remember, a car dealership got. Listen to me. A car dealership got people coming in the door all day long. When they see you sitting over there, they walk over there. Oh, well, who are you? Well, this is who I am. I start an autograph.
And what that person going to do? I seen Ben over at King's Donuts. He's signing autographs. Oh, really? I'm going to get me an autograph.
Okay.
I'm coming to King's Donuts. I'm going to get Ben to sign an autograph.
Right.
And now while I'm here,
so where's the
going to get paid for that.
Yeah, where's the
profit sharing? And then guess
sharing?
what? I'm going to buy a donut.
Where's the profit sharing?
The profit sharing is...
Because all I did was got him a check for signing an autograph. I didn't give him none of our profit. Profit sharing means at the end of the day, here are the profits and you get a portion of the profit. That's what profit sharing is. You getting a portion of the profit. If I write you a check to do a job, that's not profit sharing.
Where that money come from?
It's coming out of the check that I write for the dealer.
Where that money come
from?
For
the mechanic that's working in the back. He do a job, I pay him. Is that profit sharing?
Profit sharing.
That's not profit sharing.
Hey, the book.
Profit sharing is that
the book.
Curtis, profit sharing is that when all the bills are paid, this is the profit, and I give you a piece of that. That's not profit sharing to write you a check for doing a job. That's not profit sharing.
Profit sharing refers to various incentive plans introduced by business that provide direct or indirect payment to employees that depend on the company's profitability in addition to employees' regular salary and bonuses.
In addition to regular salary.
Right.
And all I talked about was the salary. I didn't talk about the addition.
So let me ask you this.
All I talked about was the salary. I said pay him for signing autographs.
Let me ask everybody this. If they weren't getting any business and there was no money coming in to pay these people to do this,
they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here.
Well, okay.
We got a chat question.
Somebody may send me the chat. Let's get over to the chat. I don't even know where it is.
Let's check it out. So Lonnie, is that profit sharing to write a check for signing autographs? You consider that profit sharing?
Well, I think that there's a benefit to the university. Can you hear me? I think there's a benefit to the university. You can't separate it and say that an athlete doesn't bring more attendance to a university. I don't think that you can say that there isn't money driven somewhere. Even if it's back to the university. And I would be careful because the larger markets are going to attract the bigger athletes and you're going to have the division separated. And so you got to be careful with how you allow people to get paid, because I think something's going back to the university, whether it's higher attendance or buying bigger athletes.
Hey, somebody in the comments said, the name NILSC decision, name like an image, right? decision simply allows student athletes to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. NCAA was clear, is in clear violation of antitrust laws. The NCAA was in clear violation of antitrust laws.
Right. So the question is,
Well,
explain to me how somebody getting a check, because the university is not paying for any of this money. None of this is coming from the university. No matter how much money the university makes on these athletes, this new rule, the university is not paying them. The state is not paying them. They can now get paid on their name, likeness, and image from an outside organization. How is that profit sharing?
Well, it's the same as the boosters. I mean, you can't have a big market and have people financing, putting top athletes in your market. And that benefits the university.
All athletes. If somebody plays field hockey and there's a big field hockey community, then they can actually go and sign for that name, likeness, and image as an athlete for field hockey. So it's not just the name of the ones that make the university more known, it's for all athletes. It's not just for football players or basketball players. This rule change is for every athlete that walks on campus. If a young lady plays field hockey and somebody want to pay her to sign autographs, they can do that now. Where in the past they could never do that. And so I'm trying to get to how is her getting paid to sign autographs?
Well, I think they should get minimum wage then. How's that? Because I don't think a Heisman Trophy player isn't going to be looked upon as more valuable. You can't, I mean, it's such a fine line to cross. Your Heisman Trophy winners, your Herschel Walkers and your Reggie Bushes, they're looking back like we benefited that university. There's not just name likeness. If they're ready to do that, let the college athletes go on to the pros. There is a benefit, there's a profit being driven. And I don't see how you could change the rules so quickly at this stage.
Lonnie, they did not change the rules quickly. This has been in discussion for the last 20 years, 25 years. This just didn't happen. They've been talking about this. Athletes have been trying to get this. This didn't just happen. Even the kid from UCLA that started it way back there, what was his name? He played basketball for UCLA. Oh boy, he's a top draft track. He was one of those first ones that came out with his name, likeness, and image 25 years ago, talking about we ought to be able to get paid for what we bring to the table. And we ain't talking about the university paying them a dime. We're talking about outside people paying them. This was against the rules.
Yeah.
So that's where somebody said the NCAA was in violation.
Yes.
But now they're not.
Because they changed the rule.
That's a good conversation. I mean, I think that we're going to start paying high school athletes next.
University, the states are not paying them a dime. They're still not getting paid by the university or by the state. They're only being paid for their name, likeness, and image. Whereas it's against the rules before.
Okay, I'd like to say that I missed that part. They're going to start bringing high school athletes into the name and likeness. High school athletes. High school athletes.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
But at the end of the day, it's all about the future of that athlete. And if they can do something that will enhance their future, why aren't they allowed to do that? Because if you can sit in your dorm room like Zuckerberg did with his buddy, and they came up with Facebook.
That's different. I'd say it's a little different, but
What's different?
I'd say this section of the broadcast is brought to you by slap some sauce on your barbecue. Slap some sauce on. It's that good, barbecue sauce. It's a real deal original. You gotta shake it well. Shake it well, barbecue sauce. So anyway.
Hey, Ralph. Hey, the book, they need to save some of that money to get the Atlanta Falcons some players. That's what they need to do.
Gosh,
All that money. Y'all,
The Dirty Birds, you know
go
about the
Aaron
Dirty
Rodgers
Birds and
some
Julio
money.
and Julio Jones not being there. What they gonna do about since Julio's not there? You don't have who's your running back? Gurley, you done lost Gurley. Y'all gonna have to solely depend on who's there.
Yeah.
You're not talking about me. Because the Falcons, of course, we don't know what the Falcons are going to be next year, but there's no reason to talk about Jones. Jones ain't here. You only talk about the players that's on your team.
So you guys gotta rely on somebody now, right?
I'm not a Falcons fan, so I'm not relying on nobody from the Falcons.
You're not a Falcons
Who
fan.
are you a fan of?
Are you?
Well, you know I'm not a Falcons fan, but
I'm not either.
we're in Atlanta.
Right, I do keep up with it, but that don't make me a fan.
All right.
Well, why don't you get Aaron Rodgers to come down there?
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers has had enough. Aaron Rodgers said he's not happy. Unless they get rid of the coach over there, he's not
It
coming
ain't the
back.
coach, it's the GM that we don't
So
like.
he don't like the GM.
Right.
And unless they get rid of that guy, he said he's not coming back.
So if he don't come back, think about what he's giving up. He's got to give back part of that money that he got for the signing bonus, and you got to give back salary. So he's talking about giving back just to leave there and not play, try to play for somebody else. He's talking about giving back $15 to $20 million.
So you think he's worried about that?
Oh, of course. He ain't worried about it, but who wants to give up $15 million to $20 million?
Well, if I got $200 million and I'm not gonna be happy, that money may not mean anything to me.
It might not, but we don't know how much it means to him.
Not much. He's only done what, one interview?
We'll see at the beginning of the season if he's playing in Green Bay.
We'll see.
Are you
at the
thinking he
beginning of the
won't be in
season.
Green Bay?
I'm saying that GM's not gonna be there in Green Bay. at the
GM will
beginning of
be
the
there.
season.
Because see, the thing about it is, with the way Green Bay is structured, they don't
Yeah.
have an owner as such. They have a corporation that owns the team. The team is owned by the public. It's a public
that's true.
owned team. So he ain't going nowhere. The GM
He's
will
not
be
going
there.
nowhere. It's,
I guarantee you this year, for this season, mark my word, Aaron Rodgers is going to play for the Packers, and the GM will still be there.
And Calvin Ridley is going to come up for the Falcons, and he's going to looking at him like ranked in the top 15. He's going to have to step up for the Falcons.
Well, the whole Falcon team got to step up.
The whole Falcon team got to
Like,
step
they
up.
need an offensive line. But if you don't have an offensive line, and I think you boys from Pittsburgh know, if you don't have an offensive line, it don't matter how good your quarterback is.
Well,
Does it?
Yeah, that's kind of good for every team. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
That's true.
No matter
So,
how good
no matter how good your
QB
quarterback
is,
that's
you
right.
got to have an O-line.
Got to have an O-line.
Got to protect that
So
QB.
that's the same thing with the Falcons and Matt Ryan. If we don't have an O-line, it ain't gonna make a whole lot of difference about who else they got.
All right. So
Would you agree with that, Lonnie?
Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I
You
would.
answer the question
But-
directly.
But the problem is Green Bay always had a problem. I mean, even Brett Favre was having a problem. We discussed last week this coach-player concept, and Green Bay got a problem. We always going to experience
The
something.
problem that Green Bay had, they played in the NFC Championship the last 2 years in a row.
What's the
What's the
problem?
problem?
Well,
What
it
the
was
problem is-
Brett Favre and all these other people were doing the same thing. You know, it's just madness when your players want to come in and say they don't like somebody in particular. Aaron's been there. He's leading the team. Fine. You know, get rid of the GM. We got our problems in DC too. Believe me, we got to get rid of the owner. You know, how you going to get, you know,
Can't get
the
rid of the owner.
Falcons should be fine this year. I'll pull for the Falcons.
The Washington football team.
You can't get rid of the owner unless he sells the team. And ain't no getting rid of the owner.
Well, we can't let the players not perform for the fans, especially when Green Bay's incorporated.
Years and not perform, and guess what? You still can't get rid of the owner. Just because they don't win, you can't get rid of the owner because there's too many people that love football. They still gonna come to the game.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the owners don't get paid by what comes into the bleachers. They get paid by the TV revenue, and they all get a fat check. So as long as I'm getting that fat check, yeah, I want more people in the stands, but I'm still making profit because I'm getting the fat check from TV rights.
Ralph, I didn't hear you mention who your football team is.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Clearly, very clearly, the Dallas Cowboys. Is there any question now?
Well, the question we're going to, what's happening in Atlanta? I get the Dallas, I don't get it, but it's happening.
The Cowboys, you asked me my team. That's the only reason the Cowboys name came up, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I didn't bring them up.
Fans in the audience down there?
Absolutely, the Dallas Cowboys.
Pittsburgh Steelers, all things Pittsburgh, baby.
I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with Pittsburgh. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Are there any Cowboy fans down there in the audience? I heard a Pittsburgh guy was down there. Any Cowboy fans in the audience? Look around, Ralph. Look around.
You can't go nowhere in this and not find Cowboy fans, brother. I don't care where you go.
Everywhere you go.
And we got a New England fan here too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got a New England fan also right here.
Hey, Kurt, can we just talk about the Durango Kid for a moment?
Wait, what now?
Can we talk about the Durango Kid for a moment? Today's a big day for me on the Tour de France.
The Durango Kid, Tour de France. Tour de France. The Durango Kid.
So
what are we gonna say about it? Is the race over with?
And actually,
we didn't even talk about the U.S. The British Open golf tournament. That's a major tournament. We ain't even talk about that.
See, but we do have somebody in here who's a big Tour de France. He actually travels to all the Tour de France. So he can speak on the jerseys, the yellow jersey. He knows who's in first place.
Who is that?
He knows everything about Tour de France. One of your Fred over there. Yeah, he's a big Tour de France guy.
Well, let me introduce it then, right? So today's the time trial sprinter race.
So talk about Laurie. So who's in first place right now? Tour de France?
It's not necessary. I don't know that answer, but I know that we're headed into today's stage 20, and it's a time trial. So everyone's having a good morning, and we'll be headed down into Paris on stage 21. But I did want to mention that Sepp Kuss, our hometown boy, has been pulling through. He has already won a stage, and he also gave a valiant effort on the climb where he's winning up until 800 meters away from the finish line. So don't forget about
you, Lonnie. Lonnie, do you get anything extra for winning each stage?
You get time points, you get your points increase, and also you're basically going higher and higher on the point system. This is all sort of a point system and a timing issue. And you get your different jerseys in order. Basically, your yellow jersey means you got some good points. But basically whoever wins the last race is really considered the winner of the Tour de France. So Kurt, you gonna get your jersey guy on there so we can.
Okay, I'm about to bring a Tour de France expert on. He's been to, I don't know how many Tour de France's. He actually travels to them. 15.
Okay, Lonnie, we got you. We finally got somebody to match up with Lonnie. We got Captain Tony Holder. He's going to talk about the Tour de France. Okay, Captain Holder, how you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
All right. This is straight out of DC. That's his name. That's his handle that he go by.
He's in DC.
Yes, and he is a Tour de France.
And I went to Howard.
And he went to Howard. So he is a Tour de France aficionado, straight out of DC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about, DC?
Well, first we want to get into the jerseys.
Okay, we got to listen over there.
Yeah, we got to get into the jersey. Basically, I like the polka dot jersey. So what does the polka dot jersey mean? What does the green jersey mean? And the white jersey?
Right here, brother. Okay, Curtis, We can't hear nothing he's saying. I did. We can't hear nothing he's saying. You got to speak real loud because it's real noisy in here.
Let's talk about the jerseys.
The jersey.
Oh, the jerseys. Yeah, there are actually four different jerseys. The yellow jersey is worn by the leader, and which Taddy Bagachi, he's wearing actually 3 of the 4 available jerseys. There's the polka dot jersey, which is the King of the Mountain jersey. He's wearing that one, and he's also wearing the white jersey for youngest rider. The 4th jersey is it's green jersey, and right now is Mark Cavendish is wearing that jersey. That's the only one Taddy Bagachi is not wearing.
So what does the green jersey stand for?
That means the fastest, a sprinter.
The sprint. Okay.
Sprinter. It's awarded to the guy with the
Lonnie, this is just for you. We brought our expert in just for you. How about that? To tell you about the various jerseys. Well, I tell you what, this is sports talk with an attitude, and we talk about everything, don't we, Lonnie?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah, tomorrow the riders they'll be coming into Paris, and they'll be coming down the Champs-Élysées. I've been there about 15, 16 times to see the end of the race over the various years, all the way from Greg LeMond, Miguel Indurain, Lance Armstrong, and Taddy Bagacha. I was there just last year. The guys were kidding me last year about where I was. I had gone to Paris once again. So this is what I've been doing for the last 16 tours, and it's one of the greatest sporting events in the world. A lot of people don't realize that it's only second to World Cup soccer in terms of attendance. The Tour de France is that big. So it's if you ever get a chance to see it and experience it, you'll never forget it, especially seeing the crowds there on the Tour de France.
So how many bikers are there in this thing?
They usually start out with 12 teams. They had 100, there's 8-man to a team.
Okay.
And usually they start out with 180 members, 180 cyclists. But this year, because they've had so many crashes, in fact, the very first day was probably one of the most serious crashes I've ever seen. They had a bystander standing out in the middle of the road with a sign, and they ran into that person with the sign and took down almost half the pack. A lot of people had to drop out of the tour because they were hurt so bad. So they started with 180. They're down now to 140. So 140 should finish up tomorrow, and Taddy Bagacha should win the race with a 5 and a half minute lead.
5 minute lead.
You got a 5.5 minute lead. And the only way he's not going to win that is if he falls off the bike and somebody runs over, a car runs over. Otherwise, he's set to win that race.
We even know who the leader is and who the winner gonna be, Lonnie. This is just for you, straight out of DC. We knew that we could find someone that you would be happy with.
This morning they're doing the individual time trials, and the individual time trials usually last about nine minutes because it's about an 18-hour ride that they have to do on flats. So after today, they'll be headed into Paris. Well, hopefully Mark Cavendish will end Eddie Merckx's title as the most number of yellow shirts won. He should be able to win if his team puts him in the right position. The guy's just that fast.
So the question I have for you two aficionados of the race is, talk to me a little bit about Lance Armstrong. What did he mess up, or was he doing anything outside of what anybody else was doing?
He wasn't doing anything outside of what everybody else is doing. It's just that he got caught. Okay. And that's what the cyclists do. Back in the early 80s, when I first started watching it, Greg LeMond was the only American that had any kind of power in order to beat the Europeans. And initially, Greg LeMond was on the team with a French team that featured Bernard Hinault. And Greg LeMond could have won 4 tours. He only won 3. Because that very first tour, the French did not want an American to win that tour. So they told Greg LeMond to slow up so that the Frenchman could beat him. And during that time, there wasn't as much cheating, but it started to go on as the drugs got better.
Yeah.
So they got to Lance Armstrong. And I saw every one of Lance Armstrong's finishes on the Champs-Élysées. And he was a good rider. I mean, ex-rider, but except that he was doping like everybody else, and he just happened to get caught.
So there you go. Lonnie, what do you think?
I just want to know how much they make.
Well, they get when you win the Tour de France, which is you got the Tour of Swiss, you got the Tour of Italy, you got the Giro d'Italia, you got all of these different races, but the Tour de France is the granddaddy of them all.
Right.
Okay. And as to how much you make, the actual winner of the Tour de France, he gets a large check, but he usually doesn't keep the money. He gives the money to his team. The team helps him win. He gets his money from the endorsements. That's where all of his money comes in, from the endorsement. So when that check is given out, that check essentially is split among the team, but he's going to make so much more money with endorsements.
Okay. DC, how you feel? Did we take care of you today? See that? That's what I'm talking about. We're here for you. We're here for you, DC. I knew we could do it, and we found the right guy that can tell you about the Tour de France. Thank you. That section was brought to you by Taz Agency. Life insurance for all your family needs. Term insurance for young couples and families that just get started. Universal life for coverage until age 100. For more information, contact the Booker's Open Ralph Booker, 770-634-0631. Or you can email me at rbooker@higherheights.financial. Thank you. The Tour de France is in the house.
So we want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. We want to appreciate this time. We're at the top of the hour. Like we said, we told everybody. So we want to thank everybody. We wrapped up another, what's this, episode 23?
23.
Sports Talk with Attitude. I know somebody made a comment like, it doesn't seem like we're organized, doesn't seem like we're agreeing, but this is Sports Talk with Attitude.
That's right.
We're not going to agree all the time.
It's about the attitude.
It's about the attitude. It's about us being on here, doing our thing.
Yes.
Talk about how we feel about these sports.
Absolutely. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And I want to mention also, you can, where's my notes here? There's a meditation with Timba Jackson. You can find her on Instagram. She does a meditation, so follow her on Instagram. She also has a children's book out. She has a book out for My Mommy's a Delta. She wrote that, and she has jingles out on the radio. Follow her for Timba Jackson and listen to her meditation sessions, I believe, on Saturdays. But we'll put that information in the description so you can follow her also. So I'm saying thank you very much. Thank you, man. Thank you, Book.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DC. DC. Appreciate your commentary about you guys. Tour de France. We got the jersey straightened out. Look for us on all podcast platforms. Monday through Friday. Sports Talk with Attitude. 2:99 at 11 o'clock. Thank you very much, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you all out there next time.
Wow.
Any closing words, Book?
The only word is, today is a good day. Go and enjoy yourself. Make sure you have a great day every day.
Sure, DC, any final words?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to talk about Lopez and his one rebound, but we'll catch up with that next week.
We're going to catch up on that. We love to talk about
I know what that got
Lopez.
to do with anything.
And we're going to catch up to him.
Remember, it's 2-2. Nothing else counts, Lonnie.
And we're going
Nothing else counts.
to talk about
Lopez
Lopez.
got
and his
one rebound.
One rebound.
What does that got to do with the cost of tea in China? Nothing.
One rebound. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Lopez, is he worth it?
We're out.